GM. Welcome to this week's episode of the Fantasy Top Deck Building Series. I'm your host, Carpenter of Web3. Alongside me, as always, Big Brain Frog HK. HK, how are you?
Yeah, doing well. Yep, pretty chilled weekend for me. And looking forward to today's episode. We've got Crabb on today, one of the long-term fantasy top players, and he's a pretty good player as well. So looking forward to hear his thoughts. How's it going, Crabb?
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, psyched to be here. Love the game, love the show. Kind of first time stepping out here and doing something more public with decks, but especially with the new format, I'm psyched to build decks with you guys and see if we can up my game a little bit this week.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm excited to get you on. I know we've kind of been talking a little bit on the background, and we had the opportunity, and thank you for hopping in last minute. And so it was awesome.
Of course.
And I'm excited, man, because again, like we were saying in the green room, there's certain players I watch. I like to see how they're doing. It's you, HK, Bonsai, Drunken, Dankins. I mean, I just like watching certain players and seeing how they do because of the different play styles, right? And I really like your play style. So, and we'll definitely get into that here in a little bit, which will be a lot of fun. And then HK, do you want to just go ahead and do a little while I get this post out? You want to go ahead and just do like a little fantasy market update thingy?
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll share my screen and
Yep, here, let me switch to our. There we go.
Let me know once you can see my screen. Yeah.
Yep, you're good.
Oh,
did it not show? Bring up. Oh, hold on.
There we go.
There we go.
I've got it on. Perfect. Yeah. Okay, let's have a look. The good thing is there's not a crypto event next week. I don't know if last 2 weeks has been pretty bad. Like, you just don't know which hero is going to be posting whilst at the event, and some heroes did well even though they were there, right? So like John Wang still did decent even though he was a speaker at token 2049, but others that did attend, like Intern, did really well, right? I think straight off the bat, you can see Kate is #1. She posted that airplane. I don't know if you guys seen it.
That was hilarious.
That was hilarious.
I woke up in the middle of the night and started reading that, and it kept me awake.
Yeah, exactly. And that obviously now she's definitely going to be an 8-star next week. But I mean, she's a decent card anyways. Like I use Kate, rare Kate in Diamond, but Adam Cochran's posts are like doing well again on the TL. Like there was a few days where his threads weren't catching the same views that he was getting in the past month. Like I said, it's not as consistent as he was before, but you can still see him hitting the 1000. I know Mona did like another teaser for the mainnet, so who knows, right? I do think Intern's going to be one of the stronger cards probably the next few months. Clem's as good as always. CBB had a good tournament last time out. He was a 4-star last week. I think this week he's an 8-star. I don't think I'll be using his card, but he did well. Lupify was a surprise. I don't know if any of you guys played Lupify, but he was the highest scoring 3-star.
He's insane. Like,
yeah,
out of nowhere.
Exactly right. I actually had like 3 or 4 commons just because I try holding a few. Like I've got 2, sorry. But yeah, when I saw the rankings, I was like, everyone was talking about Lucas being the best 3-star or Doombug, and it ended up being Lupify, right?
Yeah, that's a tough one to bet heavy on, though. It's one of those things where, he does have that potential every once in a while, but it happens so seldom that, like, if you're putting him in your best deck, you're more or less like doomed to doomed to have that deck fail for the week.
Yeah, I think what's pretty wild was I think the winning bronze deck had Lupify paired with every good hero, and I was like, who would have thought of that, right? It was like there's always someone that has the perfect lineup, right? Because I think I would have had a good chance to win bronze, but yeah, I came third at the end.
You got third though. That's still really good.
Yeah, I was happy because there was like a stack of 6 decks below me that had the same cards. And I was
Oh,
like,
no.
if I mess up here, they all 6 are gonna overtake me, right?
So you'll go from third to down to like maybe not top 10.
Exactly right. My aim was as long as I stay above that stack of decks, I'm fine. But yeah, I think with bronze, that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get a lot of decks that are just the same. So you kind of have to like, I kind of changed from I think it was RWLK to Rectober last minute, just because I felt maybe not everyone's gonna play Rectober, so that worked out well. But I think the main thing from last week to this week is that there's not many heroes that are going to be, out for like an event or anything. So there's less of that. So at least, you can utilize most of your cards and know that most will post. I do like Kaleo next week. I know he's a 5-star, and maybe last week it wasn't as optimal to play him, but I feel with the market pumping, right? Everyone's saying quarter 4 is going to be the quarter, right, where where everything pumps. So, so I'm hoping Kaleo has a good run now. I think he's due for like a solid run of scores because it's been a while since he's been performing. Yes, it's not the biggest downtrend to be honest, but as you can see, he's pretty consistently in the top 15. Crab, do you own any of his cards?
Yeah, let's see. I definitely have a couple commons, but I have a rare and an epic as well. So I have a lot of versatility with him this week, and totally agree. I feel like when the market starts pumping, it's like him and Pentoshi just like queue up. That it really, yeah, you can expect good things from them when we got some green.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think Pentoshi was another one I was going to mention, just because I feel like he'll score high, but you won't expect it. Even now, I feel like he's a bit quiet sometimes. He doesn't post, but Pentoshi's definitely one. But I think Doombug finally was on the board, right? I think everyone was just like tagging Doombug to post, and then I think she came top 20.
I finally pulled her too. I was hoping like once I pulled her, I was like, because I pulled her in a pack. How like I randomly open packs throughout the week, and
yeah,
I pulled her in a pack, and I was thinking it was before she posted. I was like, please don't post. So then I got her as a 1-star next week or lower star, but of course she posted, which is good. I'm still gonna play her.
yeah, he's Pentoshi, right? I think CRG's back. I think he's going to be a big one next week as well.
I was gonna ask you about that because I have
Huge,
one,
yeah.
and I had them listed, and I unlisted them, and because I'm like, this thing's gonna pump, and I definitely it's gonna be a chase card for this week.
Oh yeah, definitely. He traveled to Iceland, and he didn't let us know, right? Like not that every hero has to tell us, but he posted on the Monday that I'm traveling to Iceland. I was like, great, there goes one of my decks. But yeah, I think at 5-star, there's so many options like Pentoshi, CRG. I think RWLK is another one. Kaleo we mentioned.
She's still a 5-star.
Evans as well, I think, is kind of one of those lower star, high potential ones this week. I feel like in the past month or so, he's kind of picked up again. And kind of just to touch on what you were saying with, the different conferences over the last couple of weeks, like it definitely means a bunch of people fell off a little bit. But for this week, when everyone's back, it actually means we have a bunch of heroes kind of in the mid and some even lower star range, which I think obviously adds huge opportunity for some high scores. But I think because there's so many heroes in that position, it actually adds like a lot of variability to this week's tournament. So it's not just like there's one deck that if you have these cards, you're going to rank high, but you can actually, I think it adds like a lot of strategy and fun,
definitely
fun to the week too.
Yeah, and I think you're right, because I think when you have so many options in that 3-4 star range, what ends up happening is, and 1-star obviously, there's less clones, right? And I think the worst thing is knowing that you came second instead of first because you submitted your deck.
That's the worst feeling.
That's the worst feeling, right? Like you've won, but you haven't really won, right? You haven't got the top prize. So I think when there's a lot of options, I can almost delay my decks just because I know that it's very rare that someone's going to pick the exact same deck, right? Because there's not really one option. Like for example, Lucas seems like the best option in the 4-star range, but I don't know how active he's been since. He has picked it up a bit. He's posted a few times,
right?
Yeah, he was in Singapore, and his last post suggested that he was still there. But I think I think by there's
He
no reason
lives
to be there
over
next
there
week.
in
Yeah. Oh,
that
does
side of
he?
the world, doesn't he? That's a
Probably.
question. I'm not sure if he does.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
thought he
sure.
did.
I'm not
Because
sure
when
to
we
be
were
honest.
talking about bringing him on the show, which is still in the works, it was he's in Asian time zone, so
Ah,
we're
right.
gonna
Okay.
have to do a special time with him.
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense. No, it'd be great to have him on. I think. I know he does his podcasts and stuff, right?
Yeah, he's docs, so so he'll be like Crab. He'll
Yeah.
have his cam on.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, KV 2-star. He blanked last week, honestly.
Do you think he's worth picking up? Because I know we were talking in the green room about Mosey, but do you think KNV is one that's decent to pick up?
I think I always look at how much the price pumped, right? Now
Ooh,
he
it's
was
pumped
trading
a
at,
bit.
yeah.
He was
If you think
low.
about it, he's been trading well under 0.01 for the last few weeks, right? And granted,
Yeah.
he's not been as consistent. Like he's kind of been up and down. Uh, I'll leave it to Crab. Your thoughts on KMV this week?
Yeah, it's a tough one for sure, but I think I have like a little more faith in him this week. I think, or at least I'm going to be playing him in not all of my top decks, but definitely give him a chance, at least more than what was it? Hugo Martingale.
All
Like
right. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think that I'm definitely willing to chance KNV. And I think in particular, just over the last week, or the last few weeks, I feel like there has been a little bit of a buildup. Like if we had this conversation a few weeks ago, I'd be sidelining him across the board. But I do think that he's in it a little bit more right now. And especially there's definitely been like a return of some heroes as things have started to heat up in the market. Like it definitely feels like action is back across the board, brings people back. And so I am going to take a flyer on him for some decks.
Let's go.
Nice. I think I probably will as well. As you can see, I've got 5 commons, right? So I'm pretty much.
It looks like I need to pick one up.
But I do think I think there's
he's not
potential
that
that
fast.
he could outscore Mosey. He has done in the past, right? So you have to factor stuff like that in as well. And then go on, Cap.
And you have a lot of him
He
as
has
well.
that
Like,
high end. Or go ahead. Sorry.
oh, I was gonna say you have quite a bit of him as well. Is like, will you try to like max out him this week, or will you just use him in a certain number of decks?
I think maybe one competitive silver, and then maybe some like speculative sort of plays, right? Where I play him and maybe DB in a deck, and pair with Adam Cochran and hope for the the moonshot sort of deck, right? I think I always struggle to go all in on one. Like even Lucas, like I know he's an obvious 4-star option this week, right? But in my head, I'm always cautious and think, okay, if he doesn't turn out to do well, do I have an alternative deck that can do well, right? Like I think if everything works out and you play the same clones and similar decks, put all your eggs in one basket, if it works out, you're gonna look really good, right? And you're gonna end up with so many rewards in the week. But majority of the time that never works out, right? There's always something different that happens every week, which is a good thing, right? Like so I will play him in a competitive deck. But I'm not sure if I'm just going to go all out on KMV because I do have his epic. So if I go to my platinum deck, actually, it makes sense for me to
You
play him.
do
So
have
that's
yeah.
so that's what I'm playing in platinum this week. My top deck. So my legendary, I like Newsy at 4, Newsy Johnson at 4, and then Alan, Inton, and KMV. So it kind of fits perfectly.
Yeah, I think that league's a good spot for him.
For sure, definitely. And I've realized in platinum, the very top decks will end up getting top 5, but then there's kind of a drop off because I looked at it last week. I came 18th, right, in platinum, which is pretty good, right? Given my legendary doesn't score as high as other legendaries, just to say how it is. But that I think DJ Nape had I can't remember which legendary he had, but he ended up scoring 8,500 points in platinum. Like
Holy cow.
you can't compete with
Platinum.
in platinum.
Holy
Yeah,
cow.
it's hard to compete with that. So I think with this, with this, I'm hoping for at least like top 30. I think that's a nice range to aim at because what's the rewards look like? So it's like at least 0.02 and 250 frags, some fan points, and a couple of parallel tokens, right? Which is nice. I think consistently, if I'm aiming for that range, it adds up over time, right? But yeah, I think that's kind of my range, and then I fill out the rest of them with just 3 epics and 2 rares, just to get into those top 200, whatever it is. I aim for top 200 with the rest, just because you get some ETH. But yeah.
Do you think platinum's a little bit easier to farm than some of the others, or in terms of like those mid placements, get some rewards, but even if you're not aiming for maybe the top decks, or do you think it's harder?
I think what we found lately is you have to the way I would say it is, on Monday, look at how many entries are in each competition, right? And any leftover cards you have, think where you can optimize, right? Now, essentially, I try to do all my competitive decks early. So, like, for example, Diamond, right? I always play like 6 full rare decks, right? Just to guarantee me some frags, right? Now, I have a selection of other rares that I can play. I don't like just commit to gold, platinum, or diamond. I see which one has probably the least entries, so that if I do well, there's a higher probability of me scoring some decent frags, right? Like I said, if I was to go all in on platinum right now, and by Monday everyone's just stacked into platinum, I think there's a good chance I might not get many rewards. But I think what I found right now is I think most players are still learning what's like their optimal sort of place to place decks, right? Maybe not the competitive ones, but the ones where you have like maybe an epic left over and a rare left over. You want to kind of optimize with those cards, right? So I think a lot of that is still going on. But like I said, I think my main rule is try challenging in silver and bronze for ETH. Platinum, play that one deck, and then with the rest of the cards, see how I can optimize. But it's definitely challenging, and I think it's kind of forced quite a lot of players to like try going for the ETH. It's like what you said in the before the show, right? Like you kind of have to take risks. Some weeks they don't come off, right? But some weeks you're gonna look like the best player because all the DB posts, right, and you have him in every deck.
Yeah, I think that's 100% true. I think with the top heavy, my strategy overall was always to try to find a few decks that would go number one and then kind of fill in from there, rather than I know there were definitely some players that would try to aim for just mid ranks across the board, try to get as much fan and frags as possible. But I'd always try to have those top decks. I think since we moved to the top heavy structure, I think that's just infinitely more true and almost necessary now. So like you said, higher risk taking. And I think I tweeted about this last week as well, but I think because of that, you're going to have some good weeks, some bad weeks. And overall, I think you just have to start judging your rewards over the course of a longer period of time, like a season, as opposed to, you burn out one week, then it's not the end of the world, because there's going to be other weeks with this top heavy structure that really give you the opportunity to crush it. And another thing I actually like about that top heavy structure, and actually I think you're the perfect example of this as well, if we compare your and my performance last week. So my deck is about 20 ETH or so. But I think I had my worst performance last week in a long time. I took a pretty big bet on DB, which did not pay off. But and so I had like 0.12 ETH in rewards, where portfolio half of your size, strategy, and the top heavy structure, and you crushed it. And that's incredible. So I really do think that it provides the opportunity in these cap leagues for people to truly outperform.
Yeah. I think one thing I like the point you raised was if you don't do well in one tournament, it's not the end of the world. And I think that's the key thing here, because, for example, let's say I did really bad in the first tournament, right? Season 5. And let's say I got 0.1. For me, that's average, given that, I kind of hit that most weeks lately, right? Let's say I got 0.05 last week, in the first tournament. And then I did this the next tournament. If you look at combining in both, you probably say you've had a good start to the season, right? I think, whereas previously you kind of expected more ETH on a regular basis, now it's like, okay, if you get that top 10 locked in 1 week, you can probably go the next 2 tournaments, even with the average performance, is still good overall consistency. I mean, if you look at if you average out your rewards over the season, it's still a good season so far, right? I think that's the main thing. Like I did have a look at yours prior to starting, right? And I look at other players as well, like Dank. I like some of the elite players. I look at their inventories as well. It's just nice to see what other players are stacking at the moment. But I can see yours. Like for example, you had a good start to season 5, solid D, solid frags, fan points. But then obviously the next, I think you said you played a few more risky decks, right? It didn't come off.
Yeah.
And then I guess the next week, hopefully, it does come off, right? And I think there's going to be a lot of that when it comes to a high end structure. I think it will get better overall once the team are pushing on sponsors, right, and stuff like that. And I think once we're getting more sponsors, etc. As you can already see with the parallel rewards, you get an additional a couple of hundred where you place packs as well. I think if you go to bronze, you can see that you get a couple, like up to top 100, you get additional couple of cash, if you want to say, right, and frags. So I think it's definitely adds up. And then if you get multiple sponsors, it adds to the prize pool. So I think it will get better in terms of like more people getting rewards. But no, I agree on your point on it's going to be like that. I think from here on and to the end of the season, just with the top end structure.
Yeah, I also think that there'll be some top players that that I think quality will really show through at the end of time, and yeah, I think the top players will end up just like yourself. I think this absolutely will benefit you, and I think you'll come out on top because of it.
Yeah, and I think I am due a bad tournament soon, though. To be honest, because I've been on this crazy run where I've just hit 5K frags every week. Sorry, I think from this one onwards. Yeah, so from the start of season 4, so that's 6 weeks right there, right? I've kind of hit like solid frags every tournament, and if anything, my fan points have gone up lately. I don't know how, but yeah, I feel like I'm gonna end up have a really bad tournament soon. But no, I enjoy it. I think there is a thing where it's harder for players on a smaller budget now that it's unless your deck does really well in the tournament, it's hard to compete for like consistent rewards. But I think it does make people question their strategy a bit more and etc. So I think and kind of aim for that win, which previously maybe you would settle for top 30 farming elite, which is what it used to be called, and go from there. But yeah, no. Do you want to share your screen and we can just go through sort of your inventory
Yeah,
and
that's kind of what I wanted to see.
leagues you've been playing?
Yeah, I can definitely do that. Let me see
Exactly.
how to need to
And
figure
I
out how
kind
to
of want to
work this.
know, Crab, how you go about like your like maybe build a couple decks on there, and then also like when do you start? Do you actively like pick up heroes, like do shopping and stuff? And if so, when do you start looking at, or like your process of picking up new heroes, right? Because we usually have heroes on the show. We don't get players on a lot. Like some of the heroes are players, but like it's nice to actually have a player on. And to kind of like pick their brain as well. I mean, obviously HK and I are both big players, but like but as well having another player on,
And
especially.
sorry, just to make sure I got the question right, I was fumbling around here. You're saying like, do I pick up heroes week to week and stuff based on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what do you base that off of?
Yeah, so a couple things. One is I wouldn't say normally every week, like I'll have one or two that I might go for. And in particular, and I guess I don't do it every week, but I think that especially if in this top heavy structure, if I think that there's an opportunity to win or truly get at least top few places and I'm just missing that final piece, that's when I'll go for it. And one is I want to win, but two, also I think with the rewards at stake there, I think that it can pay off. And I won't do it, however, if I think it's like just a one-off. I think the hero is going to completely, crash after that. I think that I definitely analyze, like, I guess how much of a premium I'm paying for it. But I will do it. So I picked up, for example, I picked up a couple Mosies already this week. I picked up 2 commons, 1 rare, and actually I loaded a little bit more ETH. And then just in case while we're deck building, given the opportunity, I feel like if you guys think I'm missing something, I wanted to be able to kind of have something loaded up to go for it. But so I will do it on occasion, but I won't just sell it after that week. I feel like I'll only do it if
Yeah.
I feel it like there's more consistent use coming after that.
The one thing that HK really helped me with is, and it sounds like you're in the same boat as thought process as him. So I used to chase really bad when we first started this. Literally, we're coming up on a year. Like we're at 10 months. We started this in December, but I used to like just chase and sell, and it was really not good. I was just because if I would have kept him, it would be better. But he said, "Hey, if you're gonna add a card, is it going to like help you win an amount, and then especially if you're just going to use it 1 week?" And so it really made me change my thought process of, okay, one, am I going, is the amount of ETH I'm putting in here going to help me? And if not this week, will it in the future? And most of the time I find myself, yes, it will help me as long as I don't just use it this week. So
Definitely, especially like it could work out like what you were doing. The only way it works out is if it plays out exactly according to your plan, which is still tough. Like even if you feel like you put together the perfect deck, there's still so much that can happen, and it's so competitive that I've had decks. I'm like, this is definitely a top 3 deck. I don't see how this goes wrong, and I'm like 50 plus, or I'm sure worse at weeks too. Really anything can happen. So if you put so much into it like that, especially on a consistent basis, and then that card just has like a huge fall off, I think that your portfolio is going to zero over time, over a long enough time, right? So I definitely agree with that.
yeah, because that's one thing I feel like we don't talk
Yeah.
about enough is like we talk about the deck building strategy, like putting lineups in, but we don't talk about the purchasing and the selling, which not so much about the selling, but like like your process of doing the trading, acquiring the heroes, right? And then, yeah, because that's something that kind of gets myself used to overlook, right?
Yeah, another takeaway that I have that's kind of related is I think with this new structure, I definitely see kind of a more of a gap in terms of value coming for the high end players and the low end players. And I feel like it was already somewhat true, but uh, I just think that if you were to put in so much into kind of you're hoping for a one hit wonder kind of thing, the chance of it going to floor after that is just too high. If it's that person that can compete week in and week out, even if they might be a 7-star or 8-star, I think that's still at least where I want to put my value right now.
Yeah, I think Jay was obviously at 1-star last week, and everyone knew he was going to post, right? So everyone was like, okay, I need to buy Jay no matter what, right? I think his price pumped to like 0.01, I think, at the peak. What is it right now? If you just quickly check,
It's pretty low. It's just above floor.
Exactly. So some have bought like a 0.01 and down 70%, right? Like, I already had like 6 or 7 of his cards because, like I said, I told you I studied the high variance heroes, and I'd rather have them when they're at floor price than have them when they're at 0.01, right? For example, Hugo and Web3 Quant. Now I know eventually those will come back, right? Now, let's say Hugo posts today, everyone's going to think, okay, we need to get him for next week. But I've already got 6 or 7 comments just in case, right? Same with Web3 Quant. Like, he's obviously been away for the right reasons. He's obviously going to spend quite a lot of time away. But I've held on to my comments just because I know when he does come back, everyone will likely start buying his card. So I think what you said there is try not chasing too much. If you don't have any of that one card that everyone needs, maybe pivot your strategy for the week, right? I remember what I used to do is if I didn't have the card, I'd kind of just say, okay, I'll settle with 1 or 2 competitive decks, and then pivot my strategy to more of a farming strategy for that week, just so that I'm not you're in a sense you're not downgrading your inventory just for that 1 week, basically. Because like you said, over time, if you keep doing that chasing, right, you're just your inventory is gonna go down over time. And if you're not winning, right, with that one deck or 2 decks, whatever it is, you're not getting any rewards at the same time. So it's a very minus EV move. But yeah, no, good point.
Especially if you have a smaller portfolio, I think it just hurts kind of infinitely more. It just because you're so capped on what you could do the next week.
Yep. Good stuff. So I saw you you put a few decks. Let's see what you got in platinum going. So just
Yeah, sure. So I before I knew I was coming on the show, like last night I was doing some deck building and putting stuff together.
Nice.
But I will say, like, I definitely want to come into this with kind of a blank slate. Like, don't feel shy about like, I'm happy to take these all down and we can start from scratch if you want. But
it's looking pretty. Okay, yep, there we go. Yeah, let's just look at platinum. So you've got Simon. Yeah, one thing I like about Simon is he's pretty consistent, and I don't know if anyone's noticed, he actually plays fantasy as well. So it's a good card to have. Yeah, go on.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I remember when he came into the game first off, and we just kind of exchanged, or I just commented on one of his posts and whatnot, and he was looking to acquire his legendary. I remember he was, because I actually got this Simon in a pack, and he's like, "Can I buy that from you?" I was like, "Well, appreciate it, but you also get a free one that you can that you'll be able to play week to week." But it truly, I'm so glad I hung on to it. He has been super consistent, and I also like heroes where I enjoy their content and I feel like they have such a good value add, and I genuinely just enjoy his content a ton. And yeah, he's actually been one on my to watch list as well, just because I feel like he's picking up. I think his star level is kind of slowly ramped up there, but he's been a great hold.
For sure, yeah. I think I like his content as well, because he's kind of posting about like different alts that I've kind of got in, like, for example, robotics. Yeah, so recently there's a few robotic players that I got in because of his post, right? Like, I think Peak was one that I bought lately.
Like, is it
off the
going
back of,
well?
it's up a bit for my buy, which is okay. Like I said,
Yeah.
I don't like chasing too many alts. I know it's that, you know, crazy season right now where everything's booming and
Yeah.
pumping every week.
That's
But
when
I
you gotta
think
be careful.
you got to be disciplined in this sort of stuff.
Yes.
So, but yeah, Simon's a good one, a good follow, and
He's been
I've
crushing it.
I've always had this card because I felt initially he was a consistent 5-star every week, right? But as you've said lately, he's become that 6-7 star hero who's hitting solid numbers week to week.
Yeah,
But yeah, no,
you can
that's
count on him. Like, you
for
know
sure, yeah.
he's coming through and he's super active, and he very rarely has, or if ever has, like a down week.
Yeah. So I'm guessing DB Epic in that top deck is going to be big, right?
Well,
For
so
next week.
that was one of my riskier my riskier takes. I think without that DB there, I wasn't 100% sure about that. So what's your take?
I did see he liked a post tagging him to tweet on during the last tournament, right? So,
Yep.
so that shows me that he's online. It's just very weird because what you have is you have another news account that's posting these huge headlines, and when DB's not posting, you're like, is he just not going to post ever again? Like,
Seriously.
it's insane,
And like,
right?
and 2 weeks ago, I think he even commented, or one of his posts was like, "Oh, I should post more," and it was just like a picture of his like PFP monkey reading a newspaper. Like, yeah, we agree. I would love to see you post more. And then he goes on to blank that tournament. And I think that's part of the reason why I went so heavy last week. I was like, all right, he's back. It's, we're back into like the busy season. Headlines coming.
No.
So it kind of took me off guard a little bit. And so I haven't put him in as many top decks this week. Sorry, excuse me. But that was one where I was on the edge of it.
Yeah, definitely. I guess it's given the top-heavy structure, you kind of, if you play him, there's a good chance you're going to win, right? Because if you look at the cards around him, that you've got Kaleo, likely to do well, Vol's pretty consistent, and Rosma actually has been hitting 800 plus points every week. So you pretty much got a deck that's going to do well. if that's probably going to be top 10 if I'm being honest, if DB does well, because I doubt many play a strong DB epic deck, right? A lot of people do like put all the risky cards in one deck and hope they just all do well. But I can see I like how you've done it, because the next deck you've kind of gone, okay, I'll play Makesy instead, less risky there. But then you've also still got like good epics around him. So like, ISO Beast, Star Platinum should be back from Singapore. So I'm guessing he's going to be a bit more heavy on the pulse, right? And Pentoshi, like I said, bull market vibes, everything. I think
did Star do last week? I need to look at that.
He did okay. I think he's top 30. He didn't do like his, I think he was
I was
at one
hoping
point
he was gonna drop to like a 6-star.
Right, okay. Yeah. I think he was on the border. I think he was like 28th or something. So he
And what's the cutoff? 30?
32 is the cutoff,
32,
right? So
he's so close.
yeah, he was so close, right?
Oh, he was so close.
Wow. And then you've got that's a gold deck. I was thinking, where's the legendary? But oh wow, that gold deck is wow.
And so I only have one rare Mosey. So like I feel like in one sense the question was, you look at that Makesy and you're like, oh, should I put the Mosey in there? But it's tough then when you're thinking about, well, where do I want to put the most competitive deck, and where do I want to I guess take the biggest, where do I have the best chance to rank in that top 1 to 3?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think if you have one, put him in your best deck, because if you don't think that deck's going to challenge this, you kind of wasted that week of him being a 1-star, right?
Yeah.
And I think that deck, obviously, KMV is obviously out of place at 2-star, Mosey out of place at 1-star. And like I said, if you don't get like something crazy, and one thing I do like is, if DB does post, your gold deck might not do as well, but your platinum deck will do well. You get what I mean? So it's like, I like how you've gone with that, because your
some diversification
best gold deck,
there. Yeah.
exactly right. And I think it's even more required now, because you want to challenge in all the leagues, but if your best deck is slightly different in each one, it kind of guarantees that at least one league you're going to be challenging, right? Like, I think that's a good point now, because it's probably understated in a way, because if you just play the same cards in every league and that hero just doesn't perform, you're gonna have a terrible week, right? But I like how you've gone with that, basically.
Well, just look at my last week. That's exactly what happened. I put so many eggs in that one basket, and I definitely paid for it. But yeah, I want some of those parallel decks. So I think I need a couple top 10s this week.
Dude, speaking about parallel, I am addicted. I went and so I got lucky. You know how like I missed the mint and I was really like bummed, because especially when I found out it was like 0.08 for 10 decks. Well, so I bought 2 of the packs for 0.01, and then I got lucky and I put bids in one morning, because like they dropped because OpenSea was doing this weird thing like where they would fail the transaction if you tried buying it. Like there was some glitch, and then so they had dropped in price, and so I got 7 of them. I didn't get the whole 10, but for 0.04 or 0.04. Now they're back up, but yeah. So I've ripped like 15 packs. I've gotten like 2 prime variant, 1 prime variant, 1 masterpiece, like, and then I bought 2 more packs on bid. Like
that's awesome. And so you were saying you onboarded this past week, like you started playing?
Yeah. You played parallel?
I onboarded like a year ago, and I remember really enjoying it. And then somewhere just along the line, I just hadn't kept up, and I actually missed the mint as well, which I was really disappointed about. Like I just couldn't get out of a meeting, so unfortunately,
in 1 minute, like literally in like 58 seconds.
Oh yeah, I probably wouldn't have gotten it anyway.
Yeah, but like I was flying home. Like I was texting Muka, like voice texting. I try not to actually text and drive, but I was using my vehicle and voice texting him. Voice messaging him, and I was like, "What time's the man? It's on base, right?" Blah blah. And he's like, "Yeah," and I was like, "I'm gonna be literally 2 minutes after," and then he messages me as I'm walking in the door at 4:01. It's sold out. I was like, "What the heck?"
Oh man, I saw you got a. Oh no, you go ahead, HK.
Yeah, I actually took part in the mint, and I got one prime variant. I DM'd AIRF.
Which one?
It was. I actually don't know. It was. I'll have to double check. But I've got like, I think I minted like 8. I think 10 packs or something. Say 10. I don't know, 10 NFT. I think it was 10. I think each pack is a set of 8,
Has 10
and I
cards.
got 10 of them. Yeah, so I got 80 cards basically. I think at some
Let's
point
go.
I will. I've done. I've kind of like doing a lot of farming, depositing into like yield farms and stuff like that. But I think I need to probably spend some time understanding how to play and all that stuff. But
Oh, dude, it's
yeah,
so
no,
fun.
I do like the fact that we've got these additional rewards. I guess to just, look at other ecosystems as well, and it's just a bonus on top of what you get.
Go ahead.
Go on.
Oh, so I was gonna say is I like that it's not just the top 10. Like even in the top 100, you still get prime tokens. So like I've had multiple decks each week getting me prime token, which is really cool. So it's not just the top 10, So even if you're placing the top 100 in the league, you're still getting prime. You're still getting something from that ecosystem. Kind of try to like mess around with it, right? You get like $20 worth of prime. So I've gotten I think like $40 worth of prime each of the last 2 weeks, which is really cool.
No, definitely. And it's one of those, even though I already know that I love the game from, a year ago or so when I onboarded, I do have to kind of like reacquaint with myself with it and everything. But I will definitely say that I'm not selling any of my, like the decks, the prime, I'm hanging on to that. So when I do onboard, I can actually like delve in and actually participate.
Yeah, I definitely. There's a big tournament going on today, so like right after this, that's why I was kind of happy, HK, that like you said we got to be prompt on ending this at like right at the top of the hour because you have a wedding. I was like sweet because I want to watch the because like for those like you guys know I've talked about enough that I'm a big used to be a big Magic the Gathering like player like nerd.
Same.
And so like I used to travel and you used to play too, Crab, right?
Oh, I played not competitively. I never
you were
traveled
a big
for it. I
player.
just loved it growing up. Yeah.
Yes, that's awesome. And so like I love watching, and that's how I like learned how to like get really good was through watching these pros play. And there's a big tournament today. I don't know if it's aired. If it is, I'm sure it is, but it's streamed somewhere. And so Muka got me into last thing, and then we'll get back to fantasy. Sorry, but got me into some different like sent me some different discords. And what's nice is there's like a bunch of different discords like. There's but anyways, so I was talking to them and they kind of were like, hey, yeah, this is how you do it if you want to play casually, competitively. And the nice thing about starting now is it's a new meta, right? So like these cards are just coming out, like they're all in price discovery. We don't know they don't know what's going to be good. So it's like it's all starting pretty new, which is awesome. So and I plan on playing competitively because I can't do anything like little bit. I have to go balls of the wall, all in, or I just don't do it. So yeah, it's like now fantasy and parallel are gonna take up all my time in Web3.
Yeah, I think with fantasy, one thing I like is I feel like if I'm just doing crypto and it's just trading all day every day, right? I feel like I can't do that. I think with fantasy, it's a good distraction to keep you away from that stuff and risk too much, right? And it allows you to be a bit more level-headed even when the market's pumping, right?
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, definitely. I noticed you got a rare Lucas. I wish I had one for next week, but one thing I like is now you've got Lucas in a top silver deck. So if Lucas is in the winning deck for plat and gold, at least you have the silver deck now. I like how you've done this basically.
Oh no, I appreciate that is like the goal that I tried to do this week when I put stuff together. But truly, like, do you see anything that you'd change? This is bronze over here as well, but I'm ready to mess some decks up, and especially comparing your performance with mine last week, I could take a couple notes. And truthfully, with the structure changes and whatnot, I'm still adjusting. Like I'm still trying to figure out the best efficiency, etc. Like I was so consistent, almost. I feel like I've always been really consistent, but just trying to just get my bearings a little bit with where I can outperform right now.
I think if like I said, based on the silver, gold, and platinum flow that you've got going, I don't think I would change any of that, because I think what you've done is basically with your top deck in each of them, you have that one card, right? Now, if the platinum doesn't hit, I feel your gold will hit, and if the gold doesn't hit, your silver will hit, right? And if all three don't hit,
they could all hit.
And they can all hit, right? And I think when you're playing like this, you kind of want at least that one top 10. And one thing that you're doing well now is, competing in all leagues. Now, one thing I do like is in bronze, it's always good to go more volume in terms of decks. And I see you've gone with the various different combinations. Now, one thing I can say is a few of my decks are pretty much, might be the same actually, or
Oh
somewhat.
yeah.
If I'm looking at mine right now, let's see. So,
Would you like me to
uh,
disconnect or?
no. I'm just looking like which ones are similar. Like I think my deck's pretty much. If you look at mine and yours, you think, okay, what's different? There's slight differences, and I think that's what bronze is about, right? Like most people will have similar decks. There'll be that one slight change or one different variation to it. Like I like how you've done CRG, Lucas, RWLK, KMV, Mosey. I have a similar deck, but I've gone 6-4 instead of 5-5. How you've done, right? Just because I've put my CRG in a different deck, right? Like it's just
Yep.
that little. Cause I only have one CRG, and I'm thinking I'm playing it a bit more safe with 2 1-stars rather than I know you've gone with KMV, right? Because I only have the one, I'm like, okay, I'm playing a bit more safe there. But I like how you've gone with a few decks with DB because then you can play Greg as well, right? I see you've got Greg, Nick.
I think. Yeah,
Yeah,
this one here.
that was quite good. And then you've got Tony there, 4-star. Like he's one. I was looking at his scoring range ever since he became a hero. It's as low as 50 points all the way to 800 points. Like,
Yeah, that's pretty high variance.
It's pretty high variance, right? Like, but like if he's not doing good one week, I always think, okay, maybe the next week he's gonna do good, right? But one thing I do
Yeah.
like is you've gone.
No. You go ahead. You finish.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I like how you've gone with Hugo right at the end in a strong deck, just because you always feel like he's gonna do it this tournament, right?
Yeah, at least that if I'm not completely sidelined, if he actually tweets this week, and of course that also means tweeting and not deleting it because he did that last week, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
I played him in a handful of decks. He wasn't in my best ones or anything, but I was psyched to see him tweet, and then less so when he deleted it.
Oh yeah.
Like HK even posted, he's like, even Hugo's gonna be a crazy tournament, and I was like, yes. And then I looked like time I got and like finished doing what I was doing for the academy stuff, and looked, and I was like, wait, he didn't post. And then I got talking, so wait, he deleted it.
Yeah.
Oh, oh, sorry, HK, you go ahead. I keep interrupting.
No. You go.
I was going to say another shout out for this week, or another one that I'm looking at is actually Grit Cult. And I think for 2 reasons. One is he's shown us his upside in what tournament 1 for this season, his first tournament. And then he was, he might have been less so, or like had a lower score this most recent one. But I think what really caught my eye is he actually posted or commented that he was looking for retribution this week. And so when I see a hero that A, has that upside, and B, actually wants to engage with fantasy and perform for players and likes the game like that, I don't fade that. Like I think that especially if he stated that this week and wants to keep playing, I think that he's one that I'd actually try to like accumulate a little bit more of, and especially at a 6-star this week with that comment, I wanted to put him in a couple pretty competitive decks.
And with him, I think the reason he didn't do as well last week is because HK and I have been kind of talking to him on the back end. He's gonna eventually come on as a guest. Shout out to HK for that. He is the founder or co-founder. I think he's the founder of Multiplier, and they had a launch over on Solana this week. So, which is kind of why he was.
He actually DM'd me. He DM'd me saying he was busy with that launch, right? And he still scored well. Like he scored 750 plus, I think. Like that's pretty good.
He wasn't bench worthy by any means.
That's good for a down week. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And it reminds me of like John Wang. Like last week was supposed to be his down week because he was at Singapore and he was speaking, right? But he still scored 850 points. Like if your heroes are going to do that in a down week, you're probably well off just accumulating.
Those are the ones you want to accumulate.
Yeah, and he did reply to my article this week saying I actually retweeted the comment. What did he say again? He said, "Damn man, didn't have motion to get into the top 10. We'll try to rectify next week." So
let's go.
I think Grit Call at a 6-star. I've actually put him in a decent deck. I'll actually show you guys.
To pick up again. I sold mine last week, man, like a dummy.
I'll just share my
I think
screen
AI
now.
Rev was like accumulating a bunch of his, wasn't he? Was that one
Oh
of the
yeah,
targets? Because I think that I sold him a couple on opening week just because I
that's
mean,
who got mine.
just because I wasn't sure of what to expect. And sometimes after, with the intro, people get excited and then not everybody comes through. So I did sell a couple, but um, yeah, my opinions changed a bit.
Yeah. So I was just having a look. So these are a few of my silver decks. I'll scroll up shortly, but like you did, I put a few with Hugo, like Hugo, DB, Jez, Moon, and Simon. Not the best rares, but I'm not willing to go all in, right? But they could do well, right? Like I've seen Jez perform top 20 before. Moon's been pretty decent recently, and Simon, I have gone with Tony in a decent enough deck. Playing intern at 8-star is harder this week, right? In silver, because obviously he's at 8-star. You've only got what 12, 13 stars left to complete the rest of your deck. So I've kind of gone Guru Mixie just in case Guru posts.
You want to share your screen?
I am. I've got
Oh,
it
yeah, that is yours. Never mind.
up. Yeah, and
I thought that was his still.
I think you mentioned Evans, so I've kind of played like Clem Evans.
I like that
before.
deck. I think that
Yeah.
has a great shot.
Yeah, and then I kind of did one with Clem, Nick, and Simon. So like 2 different decks with Clem, and one with DB, one with KMV, just so that I have that. Because I think Clem's like he's one of the best heroes to hold. I think one
Yeah.
thing that people don't realize is you know how like some heroes they get paid to do sponsored content, right?
Yeah.
And I've noticed they don't get the best engagement on those sort of posts. Now what Clem does is so innovative. Like he posts a video that you probably won't notice because it's a sponsored post, right? But the one that
you
he did for
wouldn't think of it.
he did one for Infinix where he was just getting punched in the stomach or something, right? Like,
Yeah, by Kane, man, that was so cool.
and then he got like 30k. I think he got 30k views. And the good thing about those is it won't lessen his average views because let's say his average views is like let's say 70, 80,000, right? If he does one sponsored or 1 or 2 sponsored posts and he does it like that, it's almost like guaranteeing him still to do well. But
Yeah.
so this
Also,
is my
as a
gone.
I was
Go
just gonna
for it.
say, as a creator too, I think he has such high awareness of like it just where he can have the most success in the ecosystem, and I think that he's just so authentic with it that I think that's part of the reason why he does so well all the time, and people just love the content.
Yeah, just gonna quickly
Spot
read the
on.
comment. I also think Guru at 2 will be sneaky. Yeah, I think he's definitely saying he said that he was on vacation, but I can't imagine many heroes will want to take time off crypto in this last quarter, right? It feels like you have to be active. So I feel I'm gonna play him even though I know he might not even do well completely, right? So I played him in this deck because I like Honey as a high upside card. That many people might sleep on this week, maybe. And then Merp's been crushing it lately in terms of consistency, right? I think so. This is my deck with Grit Cult, John Wang, Kaleo, Grit Cult, KNV Maxi, right? Like it's pretty decent deck. Like if I don't have enough Moses to like place a competitive deck, but then I round out with my top decks, as you can see in silver. Right?
Oh yeah.
You
I thought
can
my
see
top
those
deck
are good.
was good.
I
You
already
can see
thought you
those.
had some good decks before you scrolled up a little bit.
See, he always does that.
Yeah. I
That's
thought
that's the HK effect.
I'll make it look a bit. I'm not doing it, but I was like, I'll show them now, right? But like I said, I tried competing in silver, and then obviously with bronze. Like I said, if you look at my decks, it looks slightly similar to yours, but very slight differences, right? Like I've gone with Crit Cult and Newsy, where you went with CRG and RGBLK, right? I'm kind of just banking on Newsy being a differential, many not playing him in their top deck. I think that's how I'm thinking of it more than anything, because I feel like I won't win bronze if I just did what everyone else did, because I end up changing my decks too much, and because I don't submit them in before early enough. I feel like if I was to just do the same deck that you did, I probably won't even get the reward for it. Uh, so I think, yeah, like I said, I've gone with this one as well with DB, KNV. These two are pretty much similar. The only difference being CRG and RWLK. But I think what I'll do with bronze is, like I said, I'll probably do another one where it's just, let's say I do Hugo and Mexi, yeah. And I'll probably go with Where's Kaleo? I have a few Kaleos. Yeah, I'll go with Kaleo. Who else is there? So I've got 8 stars left. Who do I like?
Do you have an Evans?
Oh, I
Oh,
do. I have a
Newsy
few.
there for if you have 2 4s. Newsy is a good one.
Oh, I've got Evans and Newsy, yeah. So I'm thinking maybe I put Evans because I don't think I have him in a bronze deck yet. And then I have a few options because I can go Dune, Horse, Honey, or Fragile, right? So or Axe, who can be decent sometimes, right? So yeah, I might go Honey actually because I think it's a card that many people might fade in terms of a good deck, right? But yeah, something like this I don't mind just because Hugo's he's risky, right? Like I'm not expecting him to post, but I like to always sit on a few decks where if the big surprise happens, then he posts for once.
100%, because other people aren't going to be banking on it. So if you actually do have a competitive deck and he posts, then you actually have a leg up rather than everybody using Mosey for the week, for example. Like we did in other decks. But
yeah, and I think one thing I like about doing it with Hugo is he's shown that he can get like top 10, right? Like in the past. So and potentially outscore Mosey or even KMV or even DB to a certain extent, right? So I think and given the top end structure, like if it works, right, I think it's definitely you're sitting well because you have a good chance of hitting those top rewards. But yeah, no, yeah, I think I'll
You want
leave
to put
that.
do the arena deck quick, or at least you do one quick?
I was
since
going
you
to
gotta
ask
leave
about
top of the
that.
hour.
Yeah.
Let's finish off with arena decks. I need to add
So can I ask for?
ETH to my account. So if
It
one of you
seems
guys
similar to
maybe start off and
tactics
then
and
we can.
Hold on. What? You both are talking at the same time. Hold on one sec. What were you saying? HK, and then we'll go back to Crab.
No, I'm
HK.
on mute. Sorry, I was on mute just last second. I don't think I was speaking.
Oh.
I might
It
delay
sounded like you were. What were you saying, Crab? You said something about ETH
Oh,
or something.
I was just saying with arenas, I did put in excuse me, I did put in one deck, but it seems similar to tactics. And with tactics, I never had net. I always did so poorly in tactics, but I wanted to just kind of get the takeaway from you guys who I know have been a little bit more involved with that and like what some of the main differences are and yeah, and just also see what you're thinking of for strategy going into that.
Should I go for it?
Share your
Yeah.
screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'll do is let me just share my screen quickly. I'm just gonna get to arenas first, 1 second, and then I'll share my screen.
Yeah, because I know it's the top of the hour now, so we'll probably do that. And
yeah.
then
I've got
wrap
a few more minutes. I'll wrap. I'll get this done pretty quick. Yeah. So arena, first of all, it's going to be running alongside Core, and I think one thing previously that people wanted was because there's 24-hour formats, a bit high variance. You don't know what to predict, right? Many players didn't like that, including myself. To be honest, I wasn't playing the previous version before as much. But one thing I like about this is it's going to run alongside the core tournament, right? So at least you know somewhat what the main core heroes are going to perform like, right? The key difference, like I said, is it's a 24 card draft that you can pick from, right? So you get a random 24 cards, kind of distributed across different stars, right? And you need to select 5, right? And the cap is 17 stars, similar to bronze. So it's essentially a bronze tournament where you don't get to choose from every card. You get limited selection, right? Adds a bit more variance, slightly a bit more luck in the sense that someone can literally get the best cards, right? And have the best cards for the tactics. But arena. But the key difference that the one that stands out to me the most is you've obviously got at least 20 to 30 new heroes that are parallel ecosystem centric, right? And I think that's part of the whole sponsored package, right? You're going to get parallel. Obviously, he just launched the recent deception pack, right? So obviously they want people posting about it. So what you're expecting is like you've got this mindshare board where, I mean, currently me and AI Rev on top, right? But as you can see, you've got quite a lot of like parallel heroes like Tyler, YGG. I don't follow most of them. I know Kalos, is it? IC, Defactor. Now, one thing that does is basically gives them a multiplier to their actual score, right? So the maximum multiplier is 1.5. So AI Rev will probably get a 1.5 multiplier if he's at the top, right? So when you're selecting your decks, I think that's why a lot of people say my card is alpha, just because they know that I'll probably get like a multiplier and I'm only a 4-star, right? You get what I mean? So it's that added element of mind share coming into the scores basically you have to think about. So a lot of the time when you look at the parallel heroes, you might think, oh, it's a bad card, right? For example, Chris Tasako. I don't know where his score is roughly, but you can see the sort of cards that will probably get a boost. If you stroll down here, yeah, there we go. So we've got Kate. I think she's like top 10. As you can see, her 6-star might actually be better than someone like, I don't know, Main at 7-star, because she's got that multiplier, right? So I think the key difference is the multiplier. And aside from that, like I said, it's pretty much bronze tournament. And the luck element is, you only get to select from a selection of 24 cards, right? So what's the in the money percentage again? Somewhere here. I think it's top 40%, I think, or top 35. But as you can see, almost half of the entries have been done. Like I said, another half till it fully sells out, I guess.
Is there a limited number of entries for the week? Like that there's basically one league that's going forward to run in tangent with this week's main tournament?
Correct. Yeah, there's only going to be one. Yeah. I think the idea is you start off with one, see how it goes, see how the demand is, right? And then grow like that. I think that's the best way to grow, rather than trying too many things at once, and then figuring out like that. I think currently, as you can see, there's certain players that have gone with 100 entries. Like if you go with 100, you're definitely going to get a few that are just going to be very good, and it's a big reward, right? Because you put $5 into that one deck, and you win, you get 2,500, right? What's that, 500x? pretty insane return, right? If you win. The downside is obviously if you fall out the top 1,000, you lose money, right? So there's that additional element. I haven't topped up ETH, but I kind of go through my decks just because I've got quite a few already, right? I think my best one is this third one here. I've got DB, Makesy, myself with the boost, right? Fejao and Bread Guy. I think that's a decent lineup. What do you guys think?
Yeah, what I like about that is it has upside, but there's only one variable, especially if you're only going to get, 24 total heroes to choose from. There could be, I mean, hypothetically, based on the draw, like you might have a lot more ifs, and you only have one if there, and the rest are pretty, you can count on yourself. Everybody else is pretty consistent across the board and back from conferences. So
you have a lot in.
Yeah,
are those all the decks you have in?
I think this one's probably my best one because I feel all of them are going to post, right? Like as in they all
back,
gonna, yeah. I think all of them are going to get on the board. So McKenna's back.
McKenna,
yeah. Ignace has been posting again. Wizards should be back from Singapore. Lucas as well, and the Mosey 1-star, right? I feel that's a safer option, but I mean, it's very hard to get like all the right 1-stars and all the right 2-stars, whatever, right? But yeah, I'll stop sharing, and if one of you guys want to share, maybe you guys can do one of your a draft.
Here, I got one. I actually have I started a thing while we're in the background here.
We could do a live one.
Share screen.
Yeah.
Do you have some loaded up for to do like a live draw?
Yeah, I just started it. So she she is like the biggest streamer. Like she's a big streamer for Parallel, so I think she might do well. And especially because there's a big Parallel tournament today and tomorrow. So I think this next week there'll be some. It's the first major tournament.
I like McKenna at a low star personally.
Yeah.
Out of 3, I feel like that's a good value play.
Guru as well, probably.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that leaves opens us up.
11-star. Wow. Okay.
So I did. What's that leave us? Well, I
3.
think we got to be smarter there. I think
Like
we go
Newsy
here.
at a 5. I like that too.
Yeah, and at least it's a 6, which out of the 6, I like him. Wait, no, I like Kate because
Hey,
she's
or
coming
Oh, she has
off
the
that.
multiplier too, right?
Yeah,
oh
she
yeah,
has that
yeah,
multiplier.
that's good alpha. Yeah,
So that's like,
I like that.
no, that's a good deck. I think that's it's a lot better than a lot of
See,
mine, basically.
I think I want to go here. Let me see what he did. I don't know. The only one I'm unsure about is these. Because if he posts, we're big. If he gets the multiplier, but I think we're gonna go this with Guru.
Yeah, Guru has a higher ceiling, I think.
Because I don't want to have
Generally, like-
three unknowns in one deck.
Yeah, sometimes it's harder with the heroes that we're not familiar with, right? So it's
Mm-hmm. And these are the 3 I had before.
Oh wow,
Like I
that
always pick
second,
parallel. when
that second
parallel.
deck.
This
That
one.
second deck might
Yeah.
do well, yeah, because if DB posts, I know the middle deck card, he's been posting as well. I can't
Yeah.
remember the name
The
again.
factor.
De facto, yeah. KNV's good. Jack's been killing it lately, and then obviously
Yep.
Davis as well. So
If
I
DB
think that's-
posts and KNV, I think we're gonna do well. Like I think we'll do well. I still have hopes that God does something, comes back. I don't know if he sold his account or what happened, but something happened with him.
he's had such high results. It's like it's one of those things where that feeling stays with you for so long, even though it's like done so much harm, more harm than good at this point. Just playing him in too many hopeful decks.
Yep. Oh yeah,
Definitely.
But I feel like this was a good episode, guys. Thank you, Crab, for coming on.
Thank you for having me on.
No, it's been
absolutely,
great.
man.
It's been great.
Yeah, it's been a
good.
great episode.
Getting I think perspective from players is good as well, because I kind of think one way sometimes, but I don't play all the leagues, so it's always good to hear from those that play maybe the top end leagues.
Oh, well, I'm super happy to contribute. I would love to come on anytime you guys need somebody. But yeah, really enjoyed it. And yeah, happy to be here.
All right, we will see you guys on the timeline. Thank you, HK. Thank you.
Have a good wedding, HK.
Crab.
Thanks, Carp.
Yep. All right, guys. We'll see you guys on the timeline. Bye.
Right.